Hey residents of Meepletown, today we are looking at one of my favorite game mechanisms, and that is worker placement.
Worker placement all day long. I love it.
There's a song for everything.
I love worker placement games, as Dean does.
Yeah.
I am fired up.
I am too.
About this list.
This was a hard list in some ways. I'll go ahead and, because I'm starting off, I'll kind of give my little caveat. I was trying to stick with...
You're already getting into caveats.
Caveats, my favorite.
I like caviars.
I think
That was a terrible joke.
when I did this list, I was trying to be more like pure in my worker placement mechanism, and you'll kind of see that. So like I've got games that are rated really high on my top games of all time that have worker placement elements, but they're not on my list.
Basically, Dean's saying his list is better than mine because he's more pure than I.
You said it.
His list is more pure than mine.
Not me. My number 10.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go there.
Is Santa's Workshop. Santa's Workshop.
Santa's Workshop. Wow.
Oh, I thought you were about to start a Christmas song. A Christmas song.
No, I'm definitely not against Santa's Workshop, but I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's a really fun game.
Wow.
It kind of fits in that category of being a pure worker placement game. It's one of it is my go-to like Christmas game. We just love playing this at our house at Christmas time. I really like it. Now there are some issues I have with the game, kind of like the last day when you're trying to make all of your presents and you bottleneck. It can be a challenge, but I still love it. I still think it's a lot of fun, and I hope there's some more content that will come out for this game at some point. Expansions. I know Keith's got some stuff in the works, but who knows what's going to happen. But that is my number 10. That's Santa's Workshop.
Santa's Workshop. All right. That was a surprise right off the bat.
Yep.
All right. My number 10, probably, I don't know if any of these are going to be much of a surprise for you that are on my list. I'm assuming this one's on your list.
You know my list, but I don't know
Number
yours.
10, Keyflower, baby.
Okay.
Is Keyflower on your list?
Keyflower is not on my list. Keyflower's in my top 50 games.
It's like, that is insane that it's not on your list.
Let me see. I've got my top 50 games pulled up here from 2019, and Keyflower is number 14 of all time.
But you don't feel like it's a pure worker placement game?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is worker placement, but like the worker placement part is not why I like the game so much.
Okay, I get that.
Like the auctioning and tile building, all that.
If you've never played Keyflower, yeah, I mean, I love the auctioning part of it. You're auctioning for these tiles, but where you place your workers does really matter in this game. And one thing that I really like about Keyflower, it has a twist on worker placement to a degree, because you can place it on other people's like cities and stuff, and there are games that do that, but there's not a lot.
Yeah.
And so I really like how you can kind of, determine whether you want to place your workers in your own little town that you're building. There's not a lot of great pictures here.
That one picture of all the tiles, that makes me want to play it like right now.
I
love this game.
But I love that. I love that aspect of it, and it's grown on me the winter, where you just score 1 million points in the winter and you kind of ramp up to that. I didn't like that at first, if you listen to our podcast, but the more I've played it, the more I actually look forward to that. And Keyflower is an excellent game. I love it. So that's my number 10.
You're right. All right, so my number 9 is one that is probably on 95% of people's list that do the worker placement list, and that is
not mine.
Stone Age. Not on your list.
No, but I love it.
Yeah, Stone Age. It's a lot of fun. So Stone Age, you are placing workers into these spots to...
Speak of components, I don't mean to stop you. Dean's a component guy.
I am.
That's a nice shot of those components.
Of a nice stinky cup there.
There you go.
So what you do is you're going to place your workers into these different locations, but instead of just taking the resources from the location, you're going to be rolling dice for the amount of workers that you have out there, and that's going to determine how many of the resources that you get. I think that's it's simple. This is a simple game. But it's fun. But it's unique and fun. I really like it. And you're going to see I've got a lot of like pure worker placement. There's a lot of simplicity in this, because like just this type of game I love. Make me want to play it right now.
Look at that kid.
He loves Stone Age.
I don't know whose kid that is, but
he loves
that's
Stone
a cute kid right there. I do. Stone Age is one of my favorite gateway games of all time. I really like it. Everyone I've taught enjoys it quite a bit. So some people think it might get a little long towards the end.
That is a complaint that I have.
Yeah.
Like it can be a longer game for what it is, but I love it.
Yep. All right, solid game. My number 9 is a game that is not on Dean's list, I guess, and I'm surprised. The Snowdonia Master Deluxe set.
Yep.
Deluxe Master set. How is this not on your list, Dean?
Let me go back again to my top 50 list. Snowdonia
this is
on there.
I love Snowdonia. I really enjoy Snowdonia. Regular Snowdonia would not be on this list. I don't enjoy it that much. For sure, it wouldn't be in my top 10. But the Deluxe Master Set has so much content in this game. If you've never played Snowdonia, if you look right here on this board, you're removing rubble. You're placing workers to go out and you're building buildings. You have to deal with the weather, which is a really, really nice piece to Snowdonia, and which will make it harder to build things, harder to build tracks, harder to move, to do different things, which I really like that about the game. Look at these guys, Dean. Look how awesome those are.
They're so happy. Look at them.
They are so happy. Snowdonia is just an excellent worker placement game, and one of my favorite parts about it is, as you look at this track around here, it's a game where you're actually working together and against each other to a degree. It feels like that. You're not really working together, but you have to remove rubble to go up further on the track there, on this track here, and so it's like you're waiting to see, oh no, is Dean gonna remove the rubble now? Or no, I want him to, because then I want to put a building there, and there's that tension in the game. I really like that about it. Thoroughly enjoy this. I will do a little shout out to, I like Alibari as well. I just like this better. Anyways, there you go.
I struggle with this one. This one's a top 15 somewhere in there on this list, and on the worker placement list, and it's in my top 50. It will be in my top 50 in 2020, like of all game.
Ooh, look at those components, dude.
Yeah, but my issue was it felt more. It is worker placement. It very much is, but it feels almost like an action selection type of game more than worker placement to me.
Not to me.
Yeah,
to each his own.
My head's weird, apparently.
No, to each his own. I'm not arguing with you.
Weird ways of figuring this out. But anyway, I really wrestled with Snowdonia being on the list because I love this game.
That's my number 9, Snowdonia. What's your number 8?
Well, my number 8 is a game that I feel pretty confident's on your list. I've not seen your list. This is a Uwe game, Uwe Rosenberg.
Yeah,
this is
a good chance then.
Fields of Arle.
Wow. So it's not on my
Arle.
list, but it was we're just outside.
Just outside.
Okay. Wow, this made your list. Amazing. A great game. Let me just steal Dean's thunder. I'm just kidding. Look at that cow.
Why is he upside down? I don't understand that.
It happens.
Nonsense. All right, so Fields of Arle, you are building up your farm. And that's it. So you're taking your workers, placing them on a lot of spots that are already available to you right off the bat. Like you have all of your spots available to you, and you're going to take your winter actions, you're going to take your summer actions, or spring, winter, spring, spring.
I think it's called spring.
Spring. Anyway, you're going to take different sets of actions and build up your farm. It's similar to Agricola, actually, except that you have all the spots available to you. I really like this game a lot. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's more in that like pure worker placement category. So. Yeah,
it's great. I love this game. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, 2-player only game of all time. So I absolutely love it. I love the tool indicator track, where you can kind of build an engine on getting more powerful actions and all that kind of stuff. So it's an excellent game. And someone took some really nice pictures of this game. Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. That's your number 8?
Number 8.
All right, my number 8 is a game that I'm surprised is not on your list. Everdell.
Yep. Top 10 of all time for me.
Yeah, but it's
not.
I
love Everdell.
But it's not on your list. So in Everdell, you are worker placing, but you're also building your tableau, and I'm guessing that's why it's not on your list, is because it probably does feel more like a tableau builder
as the game goes on. The beginning of the game, it is, and you get more workers towards the end of the game, but the worker placement spots become not as I guess powerful, because most of your stuff is coming from your cards that you put in your tableau.
Yeah, you have these. I mean, if you've never seen this, you have this excellent tree of your fellas here, and there are worker placement spots throughout the board that are going to give you berries and different things like that, so that you can build your tableau and put out your cards. I just think that Everdell came out a year and a half. 2 years ago, how long ago? Mm-hmm. And it really, I've loved this ever since I played this game. I think it's an excellent game. Yeah. It has some Imperial Settlers feels, but I like this better. I think you do too.
I do, yeah. I like it better. Slightly better.
The theme is amazing in this game. If you're into tableau builders and worker placement, it's just a beautiful mesh.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
It makes me want to play it right now. That and Keyflower, seeing the pictures makes me want to play it. I actually have all the 2 new expansions for Everdell coming in
Sweet.
within like the next few days. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
There you go. That's my number 8, Everdell.
Excellent. My number 7 is not on John's list because he's not played this game, but I think you would like this one actually. This is Brew Crafters.
Brew Crafters.
Yeah, this is Brew Crafters, which is the game that I traded Agricola away for. Straight up traded.
So this beat Agricola?
For me, it did. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
It feels a lot like Agricola, actually, except that I guess the feeding piece of your workers, you have to pay all of your workers. That's like kind of equates to the feeding piece, but those are not.
That's the prototype.
Yeah, that's prototype.
I'm trying to get to some good pictures.
But it's not as punishing, and that's why I liked
Here we go.
really well.
Now we're getting there.
But basically in this game, you are building up your own...
It's all because of this beer.
That's the first player marker.
That's why
that one token?
It's number 7 for you.
No, it's all cubes. Like, the components are fine, but it is all cubes. I think that, that's it.
Okay,
Now, and that tray doesn't come with it. The storage in this game is atrocious because it's really difficult to fit everything inside the box unless you have that tray. Anyway, so you're building up your brewery and you're just placing workers to get the ingredients to make different types of beer. You're going to be putting different rooms into your brewery. You're going to be potentially planting fields to grow crops that you're going to use to make beer. And it's a lot like Agricola. It feels a lot like it, but the theme draws me in more, and the technology piece I think is really cool. Those boards in the middle there. It's a great game. I really enjoy Brew Crafters.
Can't comment on it. Never played it. Would enjoy playing it.
You would like it.
I'd like to
play it sometime.
I would enjoy trying it. I can't say that I would enjoy playing it yet.
It would be number 1 on your list.
It could be.
Never know.
Probably not.
Probably not. You're right.
All right, that is your number 7?
I sell you on it, though. It's a pretty good pitch, right?
It's decent. No, is that number 7?
I'm not going to tell you. Yes.
Okay. My number 7 is not on Dean's list either. We don't have any crossover hardly at all.
That's because it's not a worker placement game. That's why.
Corleone is definitely a worker placement game. It's a different type of worker placement game. So the difference, it's not a take my meeple and put it on one spot and do an action game. You are bag building and you're pulling people out of the bag, but then you place multiple folks most of the time onto, let's see if I can get a zoomed in shot of the board here. There you go. Kind of. Not. It's a cool picture, but it's kind of hard to see there, huh? You're going to place multiple workers on your board to do actions in this game. So it's definitely a worker placement. I like this game. It's got a lot of different tracks that you go up, and I'm a sucker for going up tracks.
I love this game.
It's such a good game. And here, I mean, and I like the travel board as well. I like that. I like this game with Trade and Intrigue. Without Trade and Intrigue, it wouldn't be in my top 10. So that expansion puts it into my top 10 for me. Man, Corleone is just a wonderful bag building, worker placement game. Just love the heck out of this game.
You know what's funny about your list so far is that all of your games that have not made my list are in my top 50 games of all time.
They're just not as pure worker placement as you want.
Yeah, Corleone's is a bag builder. It is. I get what you're saying. It is a worker placement in that sense, but it just doesn't have that same...
There's a better shot.
The same feel. Wow, what a good game.
Such a good game. Number 7.
All right, so...
Are you a little jelly of my list?
No. You're picking great games. You're just not picking great worker placement games.
They are! Every game that I picked, it says worker placement on BGG. Okay. And that's true.
All right. One game that...
Sometimes you got to think outside...
Again, I've not seen your list. I think this might be on there. We talked about this, and I don't remember what you said, but Raiders of the North Sea is my number 6 game. Not on your list.
No, but I like it.
You love this game. Why did you not put this on your list? This is a better pick than a lot of your picks. This is a bad list for you.
It's not. It's not a better pick. I really like it with all the expansions. Base game, it's just okay.
So Raiders is a straight up worker placement, but the interesting part of this is that you're going to be placing the worker and taking that action, and then removing a worker and taking the action of the place that you remove that worker. Mm-hmm. So it's got worker placement and worker displacement on this game. And the gameplay,
it's the metal coins that give it away for you.
And all the shaped meeples.
Here, let's go. Yeah.
But it really is a pretty simple game. Like, you're just gathering the resources, gathering cards, putting these different cards into your tableau that give you special abilities and help you throughout the game. And then trying to raid these different locations.
Here to Yeah.
It's so fun. This is a really, really good game. I enjoy it quite a bit, which is why it is on my list and why it should be on your list.
It's a great game. Like I said, when you add all the expansions, it gets thinky, and I like that. But it definitely has a simplicity, but it's tough to make those calls sometimes, like where you want to put the worker. And then you got to pick one up, and you're really mad at Dean because he didn't put one in the spot that you wanted to pick it up.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's a good game. Really
I'll say Architects was maybe my 11 or 12. 12 or 13, I think. Architects of the West Kingdom.
This is definitely better than Architects. You made the right decision.
Yeah, but Architects is a fantastic game too. Could easily have been on my list, but it's not. So not easily.
Go ahead. What's happening? All right, that's your number 6.
Number 6.
My number 6 is Underwater Cities, baby.
Oh, good gracious.
What? You don't think that it is? Look at this. It is absolutely a worker placement game. Absolutely.
You have to have meeples and place them in worker placement.
They don't have to be. See this guy. Look, I'm putting this board right here.
This is a great game.
You are building Underwater City, if you want to know what the theme is here. But you are placing, they don't look like meeples is the only reason. If they were meeples, it would be 100%, he would agree that it's a worker placement game. Because you're putting these little things, little card-looking things on the spot, but you put them on the spot, you do the action. Put them on the spot, do the action. Put them on the spot, do the action. That is what a worker placement game is.
But it's not a worker, it's like a door. It's a picture of a door.
But you have to have people to do it. You have to have people to do it. You just don't like the component.
I love the game. I love this game so much.
It's an amazing game because it really integrates. For me, what I like about it so much is the card play with the worker placement and how they're really integrated beautifully, wonderfully. Underwater Cities. It's an excellent game.
You are right about that.
I love this game.
It is a worker placement game too. This fits in the Snowdonia category for me, where I know again, like this is me making up these rules as I go, but it feels like an action selection game, which action selection games can be a lot like worker placement games, I guess, right?
Well, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know.
All right, another game that is not.
I'm not paying that much attention.
All right, so a game I feel pretty confident is not on your list because you didn't have Raiders on your list. You like Raiders better than Champions of Midgard, so I'm guessing.
I absolutely like Raiders better than Champions of Midgard, and it is not on my list.
All right, but it is on mine. And Champions of Midgard, you are kind of, actually, now that I think about it, kind of similar to Stone Age in the fact that you're placing workers, and not exactly similar.
Stone Age.
You're rolling dice. So you're putting your worker onto different spots to gather up resources in Champions, but also you are sending different workers to go fight monsters, to keep the village safe, that sort of thing. And when you do that, you're going to be rolling dice that represent different Viking warriors that are going to battle for you. And I would say this game is a lot of fun. The base game is a lot of fun. But when you add the expansion stuff with that, especially Valhalla
makes it much better.
It's so good. I really, really love this game. And it is more of like that pure worker placement type of game with the dice rolling piece, which I think is fun. Yeah, this is such a good game.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, that's kind of where it's at with me. I enjoy it, but it's not one of my favorite games. Yeah, it's decent.
All right.
For me. That's it. That's all I got to say. So my number 5 is a game that Dean recently played for the first time and enjoyed.
Troyes.
So in Troyes, let me pull up a couple pictures here. Ooh, there's a good one. I think. It's, you see it, the little mini, and then you got to click on it. That's solid. That's a pretty good one.
That's a good idea of what it looks
like.
So
in Troyes, you are doing fun things like, as a team, kind of, you're fending off down here these bad things that are coming that will take away money from you, or just do other disastrous things to you. I think it's really fun. It kind of reminds me of when I said Snowdonia, where there's some element of cooperation, and there is. Whenever you're playing Troyes, you have to be like, oh, you got to take that because we don't need to have that plague that comes against us. Can you take this? Okay, yeah, I can take this one. You take that one. But then it can also be a kind of nasty game because you're also going out and you're kind of building a little bit of an engine to score victory points, to get influence, to manipulate your dice.
no.
Excuse me. So you have this spot in the middle in Troyes that I think is really, where is it at? I just wanted a zoomed in picture of the spot in the middle, which I've got.
The dice?
Where the dice just right there. That's where I wanted. That's
I got you.
There you go. That's what I want to look at. That's not bad. So right here is where all the magic happens. Because you're going to be using your own dice in your district that you rolled, or you're going to be using your dice and maybe buying Dean's die, or you may be doing a combination of using some of your, or maybe just totally buying some from Dean or from someone else to be able to do your action. So that's why it can be a little nasty. However, I do have to pay Dean whenever I use some of his dice. So I just think that it is an absolute blast. It's super tension filled, I feel like, in this game, because you're like, oh, I don't want them to take this dice. I don't want to take the yellow. Don't let someone take those. Or, oh no, if no one takes that red, I'm going to buy Dean's red. And I think it's so fun. A little bit of engine building. Great game. Love it.
No doubt. It is a great game. What you said, though, is why it's not on my list. You said that all the action happens in there in the middle. The worker placement part of this is kind of minimal, I guess, is how it... Now, I will say that...
I do agree with that. This is the game that I think is the least amount of... You're not constantly worker play... Most rounds you're going to place a worker somewhere, but it may just be one.
Yeah, that's why it's not on my list. But this is a fantastic game. I do like that element of bumping the workers out. You see that in Euphoria, which is another game that I considered on my list. It's one that I think is a lot of fun. The bumping out of the workers, I think, is a cool mechanism.
Yep.
So,
all right, you're number 4.
I would say 3 out of the top 4 of mine are not going to be on your list. 2 of them you've not played. So,
all right.
Now my number 4 is one that you just don't like as much as I do. That is Caylus 1303.
Caylus 1303.
The thing I like about this is very much the worker placement, but the fact that you're building up worker placement spots along the way, so that when somebody takes a worker placement spot that you have built up yourself, then you're going to get a bonus. Typically, you're going to get a bonus point for that. It might change as the game goes on with the different special abilities that you get, but typically that's the base rules. You're going to get a point for that, and I love that piece of it.
You like these special abilities
and just the purity of the worker placement, and then the high interaction of this game. I think it's great. I really, really love this game quite a bit. I know you don't like it as much as me, and I'm sure that's not on your list.
Yeah, I like it, but I'm not in love with it. It's one of those that is, I think it's a decent game, but honestly, it's a little forgettable for me.
How dare you?
But it's not a bad game.
You're right. It's a great game.
It's not. It's okay. All right. My number 4 is Dean's number 3.
Oh. Okay.
So we can talk about it because you just did your number 4.
All right.
My number 4.
This is also a great game.
I just need to delete that one out of that. Spinning. Viticulture, baby. I'm going to go get some wine and make it.
You know what you just said about Caylus being a forgettable game? Our friend Steven said that Viticulture is a forgettable game, and he is dead wrong.
Wrong.
He's dead wrong.
Wrong. I'm going to trump you. Wrong.
Oh, boy. Viticulture is a fantastic game. This is so much fun. You add in the expansion of Tuscany and all the different modules. It makes it even better. But it's pure worker placement. Like, you're placing your worker to gain cards, to gain different wine tokens that you're going to put onto your board that are going to age. You're going to stomp grapes into wine, that sort of thing, press them into wine. Mm-hmm. I really think this is a fantastic game, and it's the worker placement that really is like the heartbeat of the game.
Yeah, it's really, I thought about even maybe putting it a little bit higher just because it really is that pure worker placement. It was maybe the game that got me hype on worker placement. Like, no, it's not. But I really liked it. Mm-hmm. I got a little too excited when I said it may be the game that got me hype on worker placement. That is incorrect. But I really quite enjoy it. This is a great game, and I do agree. I think that the Tuscany expansion is it's not necessary, but almost. It makes it that much better.
I think so.
It makes it that much better. I still would play the base game. I would, but I would highly not want to.
Yeah, but if you're kind of checking this out, the Essential Edition is the way to go. It includes the Mamas and Papas, which is, I feel like, a necessary piece of it, and you can just play with that right off the bat. So anyway, even just the base game, I think, would have made my list, but Tuscany makes it that much better. Amazing game. Number 4 for me, number 3 for Dean. So we'll skip over to my number 3. Mm-hmm. My number 3 is a Rosenberg game, baby. I figured, here we go. Top 3 are all Rosenberg. A Feast for Odin. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have to do that whenever I say it. You do that, but it doesn't have that feeling of like Blood Rage Viking. You're feeding them fruit. It's better, but it's still better than Blood Rage. fish. You're feeding
This is
the
better
fish.
than Blood Rage, for sure.
Oh, no, it's not.
Easily.
It's a better worker placement game, easily.
It's better. As you can see here, there are a lot of things going on whenever you lay out A Feast for Odin. But what I really like about A Feast for Odin is not only the way the worker placement spots work. Let me see if I can get a little bit better zoomed in picture.
Zoom in on the monster miniatures.
Here's a better
in there.
one. That's all you want to care about is this is kind of blurred out here. I wish I get a better the picture. It's focused on some other spots.
The good idea, like of how many
spots.
spots.
And what I like about it though is all these spots require different amounts of workers. So that's a cool little fun piece to that. But what I really like about it is not only are you doing the worker placement, but it has this. I mean, the main scoring mechanism in the game is the polyomino piece that's on your own player board, which I'm trying to see if I could find something. There we go. Which is right here where you're buying things, going out and getting goods, and all this kind of stuff to cover up these spots here on this board. And I just think it's an absolute blast trying to figure that puzzle out with worker placement. Does it feel super thematic? Maybe not. A little thematic. A Feast for Odin is amazing.
I will not doubt that it is a really good game, but it is not thematic.
A little. I just said a little.
Okay.
Look at this person. She's like really thematic. I just proved my point.
Okay.
A Feast for Odin is amazing.
Ready for my number 2?
Yep.
It is a good game. All right, so my number 2 is a game that you have not played.
Okay. And it's definitely not on my list.
So my top 2 are ones that you've not played. That is Godfather, Corleone's Empire.
Okay.
This is an underrated game, I think.
This is one Dean has been trying to get me to play forever.
Yeah.
But actually, we just haven't had it. You haven't had it.
We haven't had
in the
opportunity
same
to
room.
play
I don't
it.
think that
This one plays better with more players too, and often we play.
It's
two
these
player
minis,
games
isn't
together.
it? You like the Tommy guns and stuff.
You could have used meeples, but mobster meeples aren't as intimidating as the miniatures are. So in this game, there's a lot. There is set collection, there is worker placement, there is area control, all of those pieces, but the worker placement piece, I think, is really interesting. And if it wasn't, I don't know if I would put this on my list.
I didn't know this had worker placement.
It does. So if you notice that some of the workers some of those minis have square bases, some have circle bases. The square base ones are called thugs, and they shake down the front of the business. So they're only going to go to one specific location and take that item. So that little white box on that
They can only
spot
go
right
to
there.
square?
They can only go to square spots. You also have a circle one or potentially two, or it varies because you can get different workers. But if you place the circle one, they're going to shake down the back of the business. I may have said that wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the back of the business. And they're going to take the brown spots and gray. So all of the top action spots of all those surrounding areas that they're in. So in the centerpiece of the game, if you place your worker, sometimes there's going to be, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that they're going to take on their turn, but they're likely to be offed and to sleeping with the fishes. And because it's such a demanding spot, it's a super thematic game. This is just a great game, and I feel like there's a lot of people that have played it that absolutely love it, but I just feel like it's pretty underrated because a lot of people, not enough people.
I agree with what you're saying about, like, I've heard a lot of people, the people that I know that have played this are pretty big fans of it.
It's great.
So but for some reason it hasn't drawn me in to be super excited about it, but I may absolutely love this game.
We'll play this one for sure. You'll like it.
I think that's your number 2.
Number 2. Yep.
My number 2 is another Rosenberg game.
Of course it is. And your number 1, I bet.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it is not. My number 2 is Le Havre.
Okay.
Is this allowed to be a worker placement game?
Sure.
Okay.
I think
just want to make sure that by your rules it's worker placement because
there's no meeples.
There's a disc.
Yeah.
You don't have to have meeples to be worker placement. Oh my gosh.
Does it have like a picture of somebody like they do on Agricola?
No, it has to have that at least. That's the minimum.
That's the minimum.
So in Le Havre, you're getting these goods here in the middle. That's one thing you could do. But you can also build buildings or place your worker. And actually, to build buildings, you've got to place your worker on a place to be able to build the buildings. All these cards end up building a bunch of worker placement spots over the course of the game. So there's not as many early in the game. It gets to be a lot at the end of the game, but it's this really cool economic game. I think that Le Havre, you have not played the actual physical copy of this.
No, I've only played the app. And I think the app is
button.
fun. I think I'm going to love this game.
Dude, I'm telling you, the more I play Le Havre, I just think look
at those
feels, I know, it feels seamless. It's just so much fun. I like economic games. I like this where you're building your own tableau of your own city. Doesn't really feel thematic, honestly. But you're making the decisions of when, what? It doesn't feel that thematic.
It's got to feel more thematic than Fields of Feast for Odin, right?
You almost just used your own games. Look at that. You just slipped.
Fields of Arle is thematic. Le Havre is more thematic than Feast for Odin, right? Maybe?
I really feel like I'm shipping things back and forth? Maybe I do. Look at that. Someone got some time. That would make it a little bit more thematic.
A little bath time game there.
Wow. If you haven't played Le Havre, it is muy excelente.
Yeah. It is a great disc placement game. You're right.
Worker placement game. I love Le Havre. All right, what's your number one?
My number one is a game that you have not played. It is the purest of all the worker placement games, I think. Okay. That is Lords of Waterdeep.
I knew for a fact this was your number one. You love Lords of Waterdeep.
There are probably a lot of people screaming at their screens because, this is a dated game, right? It's 2012.
It's a classic, though.
Yeah. This game is really, really great. I love this game a lot. And it is just pure worker placement game, I think. Like the theme's not super strong. I try to use the different terms with my workers. Like you place your agent and then you gain these warriors and you gain these clerics.
You like this better than Champions, huh?
I like it as a worker placement game better.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'd have to go back and look at where this fits on my top 50. It did make my top 50. It's number 29. So I've got Godfather rated higher than that. I have Corleones and Keyflower rated higher than that. I have Everdell. I've got games rated higher than that. But when I'm looking at like my favorite worker placement game, this is my go-to. I really enjoy playing the app with some friends online. When we can't get together, we'll play that. It's just a great game. It really is. And I can see why people don't like it because of its simplicity, but I've talked about this before. I like sometimes just the simplicity of like focusing on the one mechanism in games sometimes.
Never played it. I'm interested in playing it. Yep.
I think you would like this game, but it might not blow you away.
That's what you've told me, which has made me a little like not super excited
Maybe
about
I should hype
but
it up.
I would like
I think this would be your favorite game of all time.
Yeah, but now you're going to disappoint me.
Yep.
Yeah.
But at least you'll play it.
Yep. Well, your number one is decent. I don't know if it's decent or not. It may be amazing, actually.
It's also, it's rated high. People love this game, but it's just...
Yeah, it was like a 7.5 or something. 8?
7.8. It's rated, ranked 56 overall. And it's a 2012 game.
Okay. Yeah. All right, there you go. My number one is a game that is just amazing. It puts a tear to my eye when I think about it for multiple reasons. One, because it's so beautiful, so wonderful. Two, because it costs so much money I can't find it.
You can't put Concordia on your list, right? That's not a...
Russian Railroads,
okay.
Number one. This is a pure worker placement game.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I figured
from what I've seen,
it's one of the reasons that it is my number one because it felt super pure. You're going to these spots and you talk about a track game. There's a lot of tracks going on in this game.
That's a pretty attractive game.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to get a...
I was making a joke, but also it is
attractive
game.
I know you were making a joke and you were serious at the same time. So you have... Look at these guys. Look at those tracks there.
Okay.
Cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I figured you would like those components.
I think I'm gonna like
You're going up these tracks, but you have different color tracks that you're using, and you have to have other ones go up in front of before you can move. Certain colors have to go ahead of other colors, and so you have this balance.
That's
interesting. You got the black ones have to go first, and you have to have that, and then you have the gray or the silver ones. You have white ones, different color ones, and so you have to manage all of that as you're going through that. You also have this little piece down here where you're getting bonuses as you move your worker, or I don't know, your cylinder. It's not really a cylinder. I don't know how many sides there is to that, but you're moving that up this, and you're not only scoring victory points, you're also unlocking bonuses as you go along, and you're able to also get these cards that give you your own worker placement spots. There's just a lot to love about Russian Railroads. Why they haven't reprinted it? Oh my gosh, if they reprint it, I'm not a guy that spends a lot of money on a game, but they do a reprint of this. They even do a deluxe. I'm going to be the first one in line to buy this sucker. Love this game. You can play this on Board Game Arena as well.
You've quite sold me on this one,
Dude, it's amazing.
It has meeples, which is good. That makes it a worker placement, so I'm with you on that.
It's such a good game.
I think,
and you like tracks.
Yes,
I like tracks.
The funny thing is, you've told me recently that I would love Great Western Trail and Troyes, and then you've introduced both of those to me, and you're right, I love both of them. And then this one is always in that mix too. I need to try this one. I think I'll love this game.
You might. I'm tempted to say that this would be your favorite out of those three. Maybe Great Western Trail.
Really? Okay. I like worker placement. I like tracks. Up on tracks.
I'm telling you, man. And trains are awesome too.
Yeah.
Such a good game. Russian railroads.
That's quite the pitch.
Hey, if anyone out there has a copy and just wants to be super nice and
just donate it.
Donate it.
Okay.
Or, not charge me a fortune. Daddy would be happy.
Oh, they were going to do it until you said that. You made it weird. You made it weird there, John.
All right, that's it.
That is our top 10 worker placement lists. And John, tell people how they can get in touch with us.
If you're enjoying our channel, we would love for you to subscribe. Click on that bell if you want to be notified for when we come out with new videos. We do have a podcast on Google Play. Yes, Stitcher, iTunes, all that stuff. Just look up Meepletown. We're at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And finally, we are Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com. And also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.